Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is March 20th, 2018. Do I have the date right, Dr. Elbers?
No, it's 2018. That's correct.
2018.
Indeed, it is. And I think it's March.
18, that's correct.
Okay. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, now that I have the date wrong, it is March 19th, 2018. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a little bit of a jovial live stream this afternoon. And we are going to celebrate Dr. Elbers hitting the mainstream media. And that was all credited to our new publicist. He goes by the name of Q Potter. You know, like the QAnon that's dropping all the WikiLeaks information. That's his new nickname. We're referring to this dude named Chris Potter. Yeah. And Chris is our new publicist, and would like to thank him tremendously for getting us like on the front cover of the UK Express junk tabloid journalism. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, we are in for a fun, interesting time during this live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. If you've been watching us for 6 months, a year and a half, almost 2 years now, then you know between Dr. Elbers and myself, we have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have several visitors that are stationed out by our sun. We refer to it as Planet X. Dr. Elbers has defined it as a stellar core, regardless of what name you label it, because it's just a label. You know, some people refer to it as NIBIRU, but it doesn't matter what the name of these objects are. We know they're there. We have proven it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Tons of photographic information that has come through this channel and our Facebook page and our website. Dr. Elbers has written 2 books on the subject. She's done a whole host of reports. She's delved into some other theories that she's interested in, and she's publicized those on her YouTube channel for all of you to see. So anyways, let's break this down, and let me just put you into the course of events that have transpired rather quickly over the last few hours. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you. Just bear with me. And let's see what we can get into here. Okay. Now, we're checking out this video here. This video is on YouTube. It was uploaded, a little while ago, not too long ago. And the title of this video is "Send the News Outlets My Way. I've got some serious data to drop." Like, really, like, who does this dude think he is? Edward Snowden? Is this Julian Assange Potter? No, this is some deranged lunatic, but, you know, he wants to feel like he's important with, you know, his 3 or 4 subs and the 124 views that you see there. That's all credited to me sharing this video on our Planet X News Facebook page, because other than that, the only person that watches his videos is him. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you, and this is basically setting everything up, what we're going to go through. And trust me, you're going to find it quite amusing and quite interesting also, because Dr. Elbers is with us, and you know, she's not going to go in a defense mode defending herself on this publication that was put out there about her, but she's going to explain it. because just like CNN, you know, the Express, it's crap news. But we found it kind of funny, facetious, and jovial. And we thought we would share it with you. You know, we're always out here talking about very, very serious things. So today, you know what? Let's kick back. Let's have a few laughs. So anyways, we got Chris Jokester Potter here, and we're going to go ahead and listen to his video. And I'm going to leave it in this format. So, you know, it's fair use, baby. Here we go.
Oh, good morning.
I hope you can hear this.
March 19th, 2018. Here's the rumor. A certain news outlet has approached a certain YouTuber. They're gonna release it all. It's gonna be a real bad expose. Because, see, this is the problem. When you are a complete con individual and you appear in the news, it is not them or they or the government.
Claudia, who do you think he's referring to, me or you?
Well, I think he's referring to me, actually, because that's what the article was about. It was about me.
Yeah, folks, real quick, 1, 2, 3, flash.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the article that we're referring to. This appears in the Express Online UK tabloid, and the title is NIBIRU Shock Physicist Says Planet X Does Exist, Challenging NASA to Prove Otherwise.
Yes.
And Dr. Elbers did openly challenge NASA.
I did, Scott. In fact, what I said was, if they keep on saying there is nothing to hide, then why don't they just give us real-time video streaming of the satellites and the spacecraft that are looking at the sun? Real time.
Absolutely.
No time for them to hide anything, because if there's nothing to hide, why should they go through this process of processing images and only giving us little bits here and there? Just open it up to the public.
Absolutely. Open it up like this guy's big mouth that we're listening to.
Yes.
And I'm not referring to me either, people, so don't laugh at that. Let's continue with the last few minutes of this documentary.
Stop fucking lying, okay? It's because you're causing problems on YouTube and you made the news. Chris has lots of good information to share with news outlets.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you see that? He literally hit himself so hard in his little bird chest, trying to show his machismo, his macho man attitude, that he literally knocked the wind out of himself. Yeah. I mean, let's get real here. Let's well, hold on one second, Dr. Albers. I don't mean to be rude, but we got to see this again. So let's see this. Let's see this gorilla chest beating. Oh, there we go. Oh my God, it looks like he's doing the Heil Hitler sign.
Oh.
Oh my Lord. Let's watch this again, people.
Chris has lots of good information to share with news outlets.
He almost knocked himself out.
Send them my way. Let's
yeah.
Get it done. Have a good day.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Scott. He's almost threatening me by saying that, because we were good friends. I was a good friend to him. He betrayed me as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I first watched him and he was complaining about the trolls, I really felt sorry for him. I thought maybe I could help him. I started sending him articles. He seemed to love it. So that's how I started working with him. But over time, it seems that he lied to me. He actually tried to get as much information as possible from me, which he's now sharing with other people. It's complete betrayal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the chest beating thing is just, I mean, that is just absolutely hilarious. But listen, folks, we're really, we're going to get into this because, excuse me, At the end, I have a little jingle commercial that I made up. And if any of you haven't seen it on the Planet X News Facebook page, you're going to see it right here. And it is absolutely hilarious because, you know, ladies and gentlemen, people do things like this to Dr. Elbers and I every single day, every minute of the day. You know, like I said last week, they're producing these absolutely asinine videos about us, you know, trying to intimidate us, blah, 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 blah. Fact of the matter is, Dr. Elbers has been very busy over the last few weeks. I have been very busy over the last few weeks. Well, you know, I haven't been making a whole bunch of videos because here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm not going to just come out there and, you know, bring you all of this irrelevant news every single day. There are other YouTube channels that do a much, much better job of it. BP Earthwatch, Mr. MBB333, a couple other channels. They do a great job. And, you know, this kind of stuff that comes out on this tabloid, The Express, every single day, they have, you know, 1, 2, or 3 end of the world conspiracy theory news articles. And they're usually put together by this John Austin. I guess he is one of maybe one of 2 or 3 reporters, publishers, whatever they are. But anyways, the Chris Potter is basically trying to intimidate Dr. Elbers, and he knows that he's not going to intimidate me, but you know, he's trying to push his weight around on her, and that's not going to work either. So he figured that he would contact the Express tabloid and, you know, give them a juicy story. Well, listen, folks, you've seen me do a few videos pertaining to the Express tabloid and this reporter and writer, John Austin. I have publicly called him out 2 or 3 times on his BS articles about Nibiru and Planet X. I have even emailed him a dozen times with tons of photographs, tons of evidence, and said, if you want to, we'll allow you to, you know, interview me and Dr. Elbers, or you could just interview Dr. Elbers, whatever you want to do. We'll give you an exclusive. Never returned my emails. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that right there tells you that they don't want to get at the truth. They're just clickbaiters. And, you know, I mean, I find this whole entire thing absolutely hilarious. And again, folks, even though we're facing some very trying times on our planet right now, you know, every once in a while, it is okay to smile. You do have to go on and enjoy your life. We don't have any set date on any cataclysms or anything of that nature, but we do understand that we're undergoing some very, very serious earth changes, and each and every one of us has to be informed, and we have to know what is going on around us. Okay, that is it. If you've been following this channel, you know the documentation and the observations that we've made. If you haven't seen them, go back through my videos, go back through Dr. Elbers' videos, and use your time wisely. Catch yourself up and start following us on the Planet X News Facebook page. And make sure you're subscribed to both of our channels. But getting into this article, Chris Potter decided to, as we say, drop a dime and give out a story. Well, you know, the way that the story is written, there are some things that are kind of not true and, you know, kind of out of place. But we're going to let Dr. Elbers go through this because this was a very important live stream that we did. This was the day after she arrived here in the United States. Her first live stream in the United States. And she felt comfortable. She felt safe that she was here. And she issued the challenge. This little woman with all of her academical degrees that none of these idiots can actually stand up to. And I've seen them all. I mean, Dr. Elbers' degrees and her awards can cover a wall. Okay, so she is a very educated lady. She knows what she's talking about. But it's science, folks. Science is full of theories, observations, and testing, seeking the truth. Science is not perfect. Neither am I. Neither is Dr. Albers. None of us. But we have to continue to try. If not, we just lose the game. The ball's in their court and they just run right over us. We cannot let that happen. We see the course of events happening on this planet right now in other countries in Europe. Absolutely hideous things. The UK losing control. Germany losing control. Spain, France, Italy. These countries are losing control. Problems in Australia. Many problems here in the United States. Problems brewing in Canada. Problems in Norway and Sweden. Now problems in Holland. And you all know exactly what problems I'm referring to. We're living in a very, very trying time. But anyways, let's get down to brass tacks here. Let's go over this article. Dr. Albers, you want to go ahead and take over, read the title? And if you want to go ahead and, read some of it, and you tell us and you show us where the inconsistencies and the wrongs are.
Yeah, well, it starts, physicist says Planet X does exist, challenging NASA to prove otherwise. But then they go ahead and they say the NIBIRU Planet X theory is that a mini solar system consisting of a sun, planets, and moons is lurking on the edge of the solar system with a huge orbit of the sun. Well, that's not what I have been saying. What I have been saying is that the Planet X system is made up of old or dead stars. I never even talk about planets because I have no evidence that any of these objects are planets. They seem to be stars, very powerful objects interacting with the sun, draining the sun of energy. Planets wouldn't drain the sun of energy like these objects are doing. So they seem, recently I found out that some of them are very likely to have been affecting the Earth as well. Possibly smaller ones are orbiting the Earth as well and affecting the Earth. But that's the problem. This is not one sun with planets and moons. This is a huge system of suns, old dead suns that have come to the sun and have been affecting it. So that's the difference. So they didn't get it right from the beginning. Yeah, and that's me. As you said, this is my first live stream right after I had arrived in the United States. I was still very tired at the time. But I think at the time they were also saying that I didn't exist, had not arrived. So
yeah, you were impersonating yourself and blah, 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 blah.
Yes. So they do say I'm a nuclear physicist. As I said before, I'm actually a particle physicist. But there isn't actually much difference in that. When I was specializing towards the end of my my courses, you had to decide whether you wanted to do condensed matter or nuclear physics, and I chose the nuclear physics side. But what I worked in is actually more like particle physics. But I'm not going to complain about that. It's very close. So,
do you think this individual, Chris Potter, do you think that he understands particle physics?
No. To tell you the truth, Scott, I don't even know that particle physicists understand particle physics. It is so complex. It has so many branches. Most particle physicists only understand a little bit of what they are doing. They don't understand what other particle physicists are doing. Physics has become so extremely complex nowadays.
Okay, let's get back to this article because we're going to get into some really good stuff.
Okay.
You see everything on your screen now, right?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
Pick it up right there where it says Nibiru believers.
Okay, so Nibiru believers are convinced the rogue system is making its way from the outer solar system inwards, where it will wreak havoc on Earth as it passes at about 4 million miles away, but causes the poles to switch and great earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Okay.
Let's just stop right there real quick. Hold on. Did you ever make those statements?
I never made these statements. These are the old stories that have been circulating for years, since the 1970s.
Okay, good.
And that it comes from the historical record, because certain objects are in the historical record as having caused some problems in the past.
Okay.
I have not seen any.
Work with me here. We're going to just try to pick this apart.
Okay.
So, let's almost conduct this as an interview. So I'll ask you the questions.
Okay.
And you answer them. I'm the lawyer and you're on the stand.
Okay.
All right. Let's pick this up where it says, Dr. Claudia Elbers, a physicist and formerly of the University of Witwatersrand. Witwatersrand.
Witwatersrand.
Okay, go ahead and pick it up from there.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say there is no evidence whatsoever that this system that they're talking about is the same system that came through before. The observational evidence I have is of objects being close to the sun, draining the sun, making plasma connections with the sun, and they actually can cause the sun to go completely dark. The sun is getting weaker. The corona is decreasing in size. They do say that there are coronal holes that are caused by this. That's right. That's what I said. Now, I never said that it would pass at 4 million miles from Earth. I have said that these objects are causing changes in the solar system that are causing earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. I have also talked about the fact that more recently that the Earth seems to have captured at least one of these objects, and there are crustal displacements happening on Earth due to these objects. This is not a passing system, though. This is because it's in orbit around the Earth.
Exactly.
So all of this is not what I said. This
okay.
Is not what I said.
Let's go ahead and move on to we got the part about the university.
The university, okay, this is the university where I did all my university studies. I did my undergraduate degrees at this university. I did both my master's degrees at this university, and I did my PhD at this university.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I shouldn't have given you that espresso before we started this live stream. Okay, yes. Let's go back a little bit here. Okay. Now, once again, if there's anybody new that is listening to us, Dr. Elbers, I want you to go over your complete academic career. I want you to tell these people, like you just did, but you did it very quickly. I want you to tell them what degrees you actually hold. And ladies and gentlemen, listen very carefully, because, you know, in my eyes, whether it be a man or a woman who has these types of credentials, listen, these are very, very smart individuals, very intelligent. And there's no reason for Dr. Elbers to come onto YouTube or, you know, become a semi-public figure and tell you lies. It just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, furthermore, she is a devout Christian. She does not lie. She would never lie for me, and she would never lie to you. And she's basically bringing you her observations, using her academics to put this all together. And I think that she has actually put it better together, or put all this together better, than anybody that I've ever listened to over all of these years that I've delved into, you know, the theories of Nibiru and, you know, Planet X, the whole 9 yards. So we do owe her that much respect. So, Dr. Elbers, run down your degrees.
Right, Scott. So I entered this university, and the University of the Witwatersrand is the largest university in South Africa. It is extremely well respected. Their programs are top notch. In fact, when I was in my 4th year, students that came from other universities usually did not make the grade at all. They usually failed somewhere through that course because it was so much above what the other universities were training the students with. So the university is a very good university. They have very good standing in the world. And this is the university I went to. Now, I must say that I started university when I was 17. And well, I enjoyed physics. I enjoyed mathematics. I guess I was gifted that way. So I did a BSc degree. I did an honors degree. For both of those, I did extremely well. I got very good grades. I was the top student in the class. I was given gold medals for it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm proud of it, because to tell you the truth, all it meant was that I could absorb everything they were teaching me without questioning it. And
well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I do read a lot of science periodicals, and today I was reading some abstracts, some peer-reviewed papers on the solar wind and cosmic rays and things of that nature. And the people that write these abstracts for peer review, all of their credentials are right there. And I've read hundreds of them. And yes, they're all very, very smart individuals writing these papers. But whenever you put your credentials up against theirs academically, you surpass them quite a bit. I've noticed that, just over the last close to a year now, that we've been affiliated and working on this project and these investigations. I want to go ahead and move further into this.
Thank you, Scott.
Where it says, despite NASA making an official statement. Now, this is going into that ridiculous video of the mouthpiece, David Morrison from NASA. But pick it up where we are at the despite NASA making.
Okay, so despite NASA making an official statement that there is no rogue mini solar system orbiting our sun, she challenged the U.S. Space Agency to prove it. Well, I never said there was a rogue mini solar system here either. What I said is there is a huge system of stars. I never said it was a solar system. They don't behave like a solar system at all. They are attracted to the sun and they stay close to the sun once they are in the solar system. Recently, I've discovered that they may have also gone to the planets. And this is possibly why Jupiter went from having 16 satellites to having 69. It must have captured something. So it's not a mini solar system, and I never said that. So they mixing lies with truth here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's get a little bit further into this. And it states that she has written and appeared in videos for the conspiracy theory website, planetxnews.com, which pushes the myth. Well, first of all, the website planetxnews.com belongs to David Meade. That does not belong to me. So I don't know what this guy is referring to in that aspect. It says in the video on the Planet X News YouTube channel, she talked viewers through an article she wrote entitled Challenging NASA to Prove That Planet X Does Not Exist. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, let's face it, the biggest and most well-known space agency in the entire world, and for many, many years, I mean, going all the way back close to the beginning with sending astronauts to the moon, NASA's always been in that controversy. We know NASA became a government entity. And a lot of you probably don't know that midway through NASA's existence, a CIA, a member, a head of the CIA took over NASA. He was the main man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we already know that they cover everything up. They cover a lot of things up. So Dr. Elbers literally, verbally, on the record, issued that challenge. We never heard a word from it.
No, that's right. And what I meant was, why not just be transparent? If there is nothing to hide, just open up your channels. Just give us real-time view of the sun. Let us see what's there. There's nothing to hide. Why are you only giving us little bits of information here and there with a huge delay?
Yeah. You know, and here's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this so-called conspiracy theory, this has been going on. I mean, you can take this all the way back to the renowned astronomer Percival Lowe. And, you know, furthermore into Carlos Ferrada and Dr. Robert Harrington. So it's just not me and Dr. Elbers and some others out there that are doing the same research. We're not the first people to dig into this. Okay, we're talking 40 years, 50 years, actually more than that.
Yeah.
And still searching for these answers. And now with technology and a lot of slip-ups by NASA, we've been able to capture some pretty damn good evidence. And I've publicized it. Dr. Elbers has publicized it. We've publicized it together. And each and every one of you that helps out by sharing our articles and the posts on our Facebook page and the videos, hey, listen, you're all part of this, each and every one of us. And we're just searching for the truth. What is wrong with that? And how could you consider that to be a conspiracy? Look up the word conspiracy. We're not conspiring. None of us are conspiring at all.
No, in fact, we are trying to look through their conspiracy because they have conspired to keep the truth from us. They are the conspirators. They have all the myths. They've put myths out. They've used the historical record. They used a false information. They've put it all together in order to confuse the issues so that people expect a mini solar system to come by when they know very well what is over here and has been coming into the solar system, I believe now for some 150 years. And it's these objects.
And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the history of this planet's gone through, you know, a lot of very, very serious changes that mankind will probably never even know about. But, you know, throughout the whole history of man, they have written about these cataclysms. They have written about space. They've written about, you know, aliens, visitors that they refer to as gods. If you've never read the book by Eric von Daniken, Chariots of the Gods, definitely pick that book up. Watch a documentary on it. Absolutely fascinating. You know, it goes into now the new show on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens. But leading back into this article, it said that Dr. Elbers questioned early statements made by NASA scientist Dr. David Morrison, who rubbished the myth. You can tell this was written in the UK. Yeah. Anyways, in the video, she says, I challenge NASA for the proof that Planet X does not exist. And she did just that. Did you not, Doctor?
I did indeed. I wrote at least one article where I did challenge NASA and I made a video out of it because words are cheap. Dr. David Morrison can sit there all day and say it definitely does not exist. It does not in any way prove that in any way. It gives no evidence. In fact, they have over time shown more evidence that it does exist by simply hiding the data. by manipulating the data, by adding things to images that were not there. I mean, why would they do that if they were not trying to hide anything? I think they have shown, they have actually proven that there is something to hide by their actions. And now they have an opportunity to reverse that by being totally transparent, opening up the satellites and the spacecraft to public view and giving us the streams, the video streams that they themselves have. They have an opportunity. Let's see them go through with the actions that will prove that Dr. David Morrison is speaking the truth.
He's a flunky. I can't stand that guy.
Well, he's their spokesperson, so he's.
I know, right?
Yes.
He's. I can't even stand hearing him talk. But we're going to move further into this this article, and it states that in the article, Dr. Albers claims to have seen dying stars that are part of the Planet X system. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've showed you every bit of our evidence.
Yes.
It's all out there. It's all in the form of Dr. Albers' articles and all of the photo captures that I have, all of the videos that we've produced. I've produced over 1,350 videos in less than 2 years showing the evidence. It states that she claims these dying stars, they're much denser than planets. Otherwise, they would be vaporized by the sun. Well, you know, we pretty much know that is true. Yes. It states that NASA scientists have, since the 80s, been saying there is theoretically another planet at the edge of the solar system, but it has yet to be conclusively proved or proven.
It should be proven, yeah. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but this is what they do. They always point us to the edge of the solar system in the opposite direction to where the objects really are. They are at the center of the solar system, not at the edge.
Exactly. So, you know, folks, maybe at one point, you know, a long time ago, we don't know exactly when this object or these objects came in. I mean, we just don't have those answers. I'm sure that the space agencies on this planet, I'm sure they do have that evidence. I'm sure they have made the observations. I mean, Lord knows the trillions of dollars of satellites and space probes that they have sent out there. And we pretty much know about all of them. And then there are probably some of them that we don't know about. So again, who creates that conspiracy? They create that conspiracy, not us.
Yeah, and Scott, I'd just like to add something. We don't know exactly when they started coming in. We know they have not always been here because we know the effect they have on the sun, and that is to drain it until eventually the sun will go dark. So they couldn't have been part of the system because the sun would have gone dark a long time ago. So that we know. Well, we don't know exactly when they started coming in, but we have little bits of evidence that suggest that they've been here for at least they started coming in some 150 years ago, because that's when the Earth's magnetic field started decreasing, and that's when noctilucent clouds appeared for the first time. They were never observed before.
Okay, now, Dr. Albers, getting into this next piece here, this is probably going to make you a little mad because they're actually taking a jab at your faith. But it states here that she added the Planet X system stellar cores will negatively impact life on Earth, and it says, and I therefore recommend getting to know your creator, Jesus, as the only way to find the peace and safety that we'll all desperately need.
Well, that's absolutely correct. They have quoted me absolutely spot on that, Scott. The thing is, they probably think there's something wrong with that. But the truth is, the greatest physicists have always believed in the creator. Newton believed in the creator. Einstein believed in God. He said God does not play dice with the universe. He believed in God. Even Einstein believed in God. Most of the greatest scientists that ever lived believed in God. So I don't see why there's anything wrong with that, because you have, when you study the universe and about its complexity and how it works, you have to realize, if you are intelligent, that it couldn't all have come together without a creator behind it.
Like the Big Bang.
If you do not see that, then you have not actually seen what the universe is like.
Exactly. Now we're going to get into the good part here about your boss at the university, and I'll call him the boss. You could go ahead and give everybody his exact title. It states in the next line, folks, that none of these theories, I repeat, none of these theories are backed by mainstream scientists. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Yeah. Who are the mainstream scientists? I mean, is there a list of them? Are we talking about that? What's that one black guy's name? That's he's on TV all the time. You guys know who I'm talking about. I mean, who are we talking about? We talking about, mainstream scientists on the History Channel. Where's a list of these people? Who are these people? Yeah, of course, they're not going to come out and say anything because they don't want to risk their life. They don't want to screw their life up.
Yes.
They don't have a backbone. They're yellow-bellied. And furthermore, they want to keep that money flowing into their pocket.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Don't forget, they are ready to kill. They have proven that they can do that. They have killed scientists. They killed Dr. Harrington. They killed Dr. Schumacher. Those are just two that I know of. I know there were many other astronomers that we don't even know about that realized something was happening and they were killed. So they know they cannot do that. Also, it's well known that any scientist that goes against the mainstream idea and does little things like even look at the fact that the universe is electrical in nature and start using electrical fields, like James McKinney, is usually forced out of their teaching position. Is fired and absolutely blocked from ever going into a teaching position again. So this is what happened with me. And
let's get into that, because the next line says Dr. Elbers resigned from the university late last June. Okay, yes. Well, they failed to tell you exactly why Dr. Elbers resigned. And most of you have all heard her story about what was, what transpired, what was done to her, and what forced her into her resignation. Yeah. It states that university bosses have since moved to distance themselves from her theories. Now, once again, folks, we're talking about, mainstream scientists, these mainstream individuals that run these universities.
Yes.
They're not going to go against the system because Dr. Rodriguez, he would be out of a job. Now,
that's right.
Dr. Elbers, pick it up where it starts with Dr. Rodriguez's name, and go ahead and take it.
Well, Professor Rodriguez, what happened was I was writing these articles. I was giving them to Chris Potter and to Steve Olson. I was trying to help them out. I had seen that there was something different about the sky. I knew things were not normal in the solar system because of the colors I was seeing. I knew my geometric optics so well that I knew that there was no way that there weren't any extra light sources in the inner solar system if the sky looked like that. There was no way. So I started looking into it, and I decided I was going to help these two people that were trying to understand what is going on. I never intended to go any further than that. I told them both I didn't want my name to be known. I wanted to stay incognito, so to speak. So I didn't want my name to be known. I didn't want any recognition at all. I just wanted to help.
But they took care of that for you, right? They sold the souls to the devil, and in the end, you know, these individuals, they went ahead and they outed Dr. Elbers, and they created all kinds of problems at the university with a bunch of lies and a blah, 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 blah. And,
that's right.
You know, for Dr. Elbers' safety.
They leaked my name and who I was. I don't know which one or if both of them did.
Well, I mean, there's clear evidence out there that, you know, that it was a combination of all of these individuals working together behind the scenes, just like they do on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter right now, probably to each and every one of you. We all know Big Brother is out there, and now he has a sister. You know, so it's Big Brother and Big Sister out there watching every damn thing we do.
So anyway, you're right, Scott. So the trolls got hold of my name, and they started emailing the university with some horrible things. Some of them even had satanic stuff on it, and they were emailing nearly all my colleagues. They emailed my head of school, the dean of the faculty, and the vice chancellor of the university. And that is the management above me. So the first line is my head of school, then the dean of the science faculty, and then the vice chancellor. He's the head of the university. So they emailed all of them repeatedly with these horrible emails and links about what Chris Potter was saying, and in some of them he was being rude and swearing and so on. Maybe he did it on purpose. I don't know.
Well, he's a psycho. He needs medication.
So now I think maybe he did all that on purpose just to make me look bad. But then I just felt sorry for him. I thought there was, you know, something not quite right.
Well, you know, people normally do feel sorry for retards. I mean, that's just how it is. Let's get back into this article real quick.
Anyway, I was going to tell you what Professor Rodrigues. And then there was someone else. What was his name? Ferguson. He emailed me about something. He tricked me into answering him. And then he wrote an email as if he was a professional astronomer. This is how he approached the universe, and complained about me and my theories.
But we all know that he's nothing more than a lab assistant. And he does have a PhD, but it is not in any type of science, nor does he come anywhere near Dr. Elbers' academics.
Yeah, he seems to be involved in genetics, and he's I don't know what his PhD is in. Maybe
it's not any type of science. It's in some type of I don't know, psychology crap. But
basically, Professor Rodrigues called me into his office, and he not just with me, but he didn't just have a communication with me. He called someone else from another office to be a witness. And he basically
they got the witnesses. Oh my!
He basically threatened me. Basically told me, "You better stop or you're fired." Not in so many words, but he was very unfriendly, let's put it that way. That's when the victimization started. And I said, look, I can show you what I have been doing. I can show you that the images show that there's something there. These objects are there. He didn't want to see any of it. He wasn't interested. All he wanted was, look, if you have been finding these things, why don't you do it as peer review papers? By then, I knew there was no way these things were going to get published in peer-reviewed publications, because the whole world would block this from I knew it was like going against the tide with these things. That's why I was trying to do it quietly. I wasn't interested in publications, but he was always very upset with me about one thing. I wasn't very interested in doing research. And I wasn't doing a lot of publication. I was doing the minimum required. I wasn't going full out and doing all these publications like all the other physicists were. I wasn't that interested because I knew by then there was something wrong with my field. There was something wrong with most fields. And I wasn't interested in participating. I found a little niche that I was interested in, and that was problem solving and a part of science education. I was doing my little research in that. But even that went a little bit against the grain because I was really teaching students to really think and question.
Let's talk about something else real quick here.
Yeah.
Okay. So your career was basically coming to an end after 17 years at this university, but at the same time, were you or were you not invited to speak at the Professional Physics Convention in South Africa? Not one time, but twice during the latest convention in 2017.
Yes.
Based on two papers that you wrote and submitted to the committee, they chose you to speak twice on these subject matters.
Yeah.
Now, hold on a minute. Do you think that this was something that was peer-reviewed? Do those articles, those reports that you wrote, do they not have to go through a peer review system, that committee?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the South African Association of Physicists. So yes, they have a conference every year, and you submit abstracts, and the abstracts are peer reviewed. So only those that are deemed good enough are accepted to then go, and the person will give a presentation, and the paper then goes in for publication. And so my two abstracts, but Scott, I never intended to write these abstracts. I did it because Professor Rodriguez put this immense pressure on me, and I thought, well, maybe I should try, and at least I'll show him that they were,
And you tried, and
they were accepted. Yes, I was surprised.
Hold on, I have asked you this question before.
Yes.
Okay, at these physics conventions.
Yes.
How often does the same physicist, how often does one person get accepted to speak twice?
Not often. Usually you only speak once.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last year, these idiots floating around the scientific community and the trolling community on YouTube and Facebook, they have criticized Dr. Elbers because she doesn't really believe in this peer review system, because it is corrupt as the government that rules the land where your ass is sitting on right now. Okay. Furthermore, they say that she's never been peer reviewed. That is a complete lie. You just heard what she said. Those papers that she was forced to write by her employers at the university, she wrote those two abstracts based on observations pertaining to what we refer to as Planet X and the stellar cores and the SDO eclipse season. They were so interested, they were accepted, and they invited her to speak twice on both reports in front of all of her professional peers.
Yeah.
That to me says a lot. And that puts to rest the so-called myth that Dr. Elbers is not peer reviewed. Well, guess what? You're wrong.
Yeah, the thing is, Scott, as I said before, the peer review system is the gatekeeper. This is also why Professor Rodriguez was so extremely upset, because I was doing research and publishing it directly to the public. This is taboo amongst physicists. Physicists publish for themselves only. They do not go directly to the public with their theories.
Absolutely not.
This is why you go through the peer review system. This is why it make it as complex as possible. You don't want normal people to understand what you are actually saying. You want them to be in awe of the physicists and physics. Yeah, what I was doing, he was shocked that I was doing this. I was writing articles, doing research, and publishing it on YouTube for the public. I mean, my colleague right next door, he told me as much himself. He's an astronomer. I had an interview with him only because Professor Rodriguez told him to talk to me, trying to talk me out of it. He says, you don't do physics like this anymore. Observation. You have to do simulations. And, it's okay to talk about these things amongst each other, but we don't tell the public about it. This is not the way we do things.
I want to get back into the last part of this article. It goes on to talk about this Dr. Brian Cox, the astronomer. He's publicly come out and said that he has no evidence of Planet X. But folks, all of his book deals, his TV appearances, and stuff like that would all be down the drain. Any universities that he's affiliated with or observatories, blah blah blah. His career would be over. So naturally, Dr. Brian Cox. And also this other Robert Walker, who is supposedly a mathematician, posted something of the nature. Her ideas just make no sense, and I find it hard to credit that someone so qualified could come to believe such things. This guy can't even write as a writer.
You see, the thing is, physics is supposed to be based on observation. This is how it was in the 17th century, the 18th century, and somehow towards the 19th century, it got changed. It's all based on theory. And if the observation doesn't agree with the theory, we throw out the observation. This is wrong. It's totally wrong. It's upside down, Scott. It's supposed to be based on observation, and I have been doing my research based on observation. But all the physicists think that's wrong because they've all been trained to throw out any observation that doesn't agree with their theories.
Yeah, they want to, get their little theories rolling in a test tube. Well, You know what, folks? That's not going to happen. I mean, we literally have to go out there and we have to find the hardcore evidence. And that's exactly what we've tried to do. That's exactly what we've done. We've shown everybody that we could what's out there. We've talked about the issues that our planet will go through, and our planet is going through them now. We both feel that we are in the beginning stages of this interaction between, Planet X, the stellar cores, whatever you want to call them, whatever label you want to put on them. They are interacting with the sun. We see it. We know that it is happening. But, things are really getting tight-lipped as far as the observations go with, the SDO, the SOHO spacecraft is out of order now since January 25th. We can't view anything like we used to on there. They're claiming they're going through programming problems, whatever. We've seen this before. They take away our tools to shut us up. But folks, we already have piles and piles and piles of evidence proving it. If you're not familiar with it, go back through our videos, go back through Dr. Elber's videos, bring yourself up to date.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why I showed you the Chris Potter video in the beginning, because he decided to try to be like the Snowden dude. Yes. And you know, Julian Assange, you know, he wanted to drop some WikiLeaks.
Yes.
You know, ooh. But all he did was brought more people, more notoriety, more exposure. And people will see through the BS. Mm-hmm. Whether it's on the Express or Chris Potter's channel or mainstream news. Mm-hmm. We all know we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's cut and dry, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We know the situations that are occurring on our planet. We have to be aware of our surroundings. We have to be prepared. Knowledge is power. We have that knowledge. We have a little bit of an upper hand. And we don't truly know the demise of this planet. I don't actually think we will undergo a complete, you know, cataclysm where mankind disappears, but we are going to have a lot of changes. A lot of changes. And we're probably going to start seeing some of these extreme changes moving into spring. We're going to see them. And it's going to boil over into summer in the northern hemisphere. And there's going to be a lot of situations in the southern hemisphere. And, you know, countries like Australia and New Zealand and parts of the continent of Africa, South African region, they're going to be having their own issues. The same is going to apply for the most southern tip of South America. Now, these regions in the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, we're going to have our own problems. Mark my words. But, you know, we wanted to bring this to you, and we wanted to just show you once again, you know, some things that are kind of trivial in what we go through, and to bring you even more truth about what happens to us simply trying to research something. What is the big deal? Who are we hurting? Are we hurting anybody? No.
Well, Scott, I'd just like to say that according to Professor Rodriguez, I have the letter he wrote to me with all kinds of accusations. One of them was, he accused me of using my PhD to do research in an unconventional way. In other words, it was as if he owned my PhD. So in my response, I said, excuse me, the university did not pay for me to do the PhD. My father paid my fees for me to study, and I did the work, so you don't own my PhD. And I could have worked at any other university after, you know, at this moment, and you don't own my PhD. What I do with my PhD is up to me. So I said all kinds of things about having the right to write articles and publish them in whatever way I want to. And apparently he didn't agree with that. But later on, the whole science faculty had a meeting about me, Scott. And
yeah, that's incredible. Like, you know, they're all talking behind your back. Oops, sorry about that.
There was these meetings all about what I was doing, and I you know, I didn't even know what was going on. But I would walk into the School of Physics, and I would feel so bad because everybody was looking at me funny, and you know, it was just impossible for me to go on there, and that's basically, I was basically forced to leave. I just
all right.
couldn't.
You know what? Your life has changed for the better. You're much happier now. You're much safer now, and you're doing what you wanted to do freely. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick. This is a little video that I made for our Planet X News Facebook page, and this was thanking Chris Potter for his additional exposure. I consider him to be our new publicist. And what you're looking at here on your screen is Social Blade. It's a website that you get all kind of statistics from social media platforms like YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, I think. And it also has a YouTube live subscriber count. And this is like actually like a ticking clock for people that are subscribing and unsubscribing to your channel in real time. So check this out. I recorded a little video after Chris Potter's WikiLeaks dump. And check this out. This was a little tribute and a little thank you to Chris Potter, Q Potter.
Thank you. Thank you. T-H-A-K-Y-O-U. Thank you. T-H-A-N-K.
It's so cute. Thanks, Scott.
I got to hear that again, folks.
So cute.
Thank you. Thank you. T-H-A-N-K. Y-O-U. T-H-A-N-K.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that video that I just showed you, it is available on the Planet X News Facebook page. Please share it. The jingle is very, very catchy. I've been singing it, half the afternoon. And once again, we thank Chris Potter. We thank him very, very much for his trolling, his backstabbing, and basically his true colors just come shining through like all of the rest. But we thank him for adding that additional exposure, and hopefully a lot of people in the UK and the surrounding countries, as well as the US and around the world, that read the tabloid The Express. As you can see, it drew additional people, subscribers, directly to Dr. Elber's YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Her subscribership instantly increased right before your eyes. Thank you very much.
Yes, and also, Scott, more people were exposed to this idea that, something is happening in the solar system. Sometimes, even though they don't get it quite correct, at least they're exposing the truth in some way. And I'd like to add that I don't actually blame Professor Rodriguez that much, because the trolls, really what they did was they threatened the university.
Yes, they did.
And so he was out to protect the university in a way. And I think he was quite harsh with me, because he thought that by being harsh, he could stop me in the course that I was on. And he was trying to protect the university. And I understand that. And in a way, I am thankful now for what happened, because even though it was very hard, and sometimes I really still miss lecturing. I enjoyed having my class of students, and I enjoyed that. And I miss that now and then. But I have recently, through my observation, come out and started understanding what gravity really is, and the major forces in the universe, what they are. And when I started understanding that, as a physicist, here I am, I'm using observation, and I always say observation. And then through this observation, I suddenly realize, oh my goodness, this is what gravity is. And gravity is both attractive and repulsive. And for me, this has been quite a bonus,
Did you just say Chris Potter was repulsive?
No. Gravity.
Hey, listen, folks, here's the deal. It's pretty cut and dry. We have, and we consider ourselves to have, the best observational evidence on the face of this planet with common man and woman. Okay, we know that NASA and the space agencies, we know that they have crystal clear observations of these objects We know they've been tracking them. We know that they know where they're at, what they're doing, and they know a hell of a lot more than we do. So do you actually think that I'm going to come up with photographs like this that I've publicized all over YouTube and the internet and our Facebook page and Twitter to show people that, yes, you know, we can make these observations and we can capture these objects? But, you know, as of lately, folks, I mean, they've really been trying to watch what we're seeing. I mean, I'm telling you right now, they really, really are. And there's nothing we can do about it. You know, I mean, they literally, you know, they hold the keys to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know. We already know. The best thing that we could do now is, again, you know, prepare ourselves and keep an eye on your surroundings, you know, geographically, where you live. You know, we're going to have some problems with weather. There's no doubt about that. We're going to have some more problems with the intensification of seismic activity. God forbid that we continue to have rises in volcanic activity, folks, because let me tell you, you know, we all fear the earthquakes, and they do damage. But a massive volcanic eruption can do damage to this whole entire planet in a matter of a week, with a massive ash plume making its way and encompassing this entire globe. And that could produce a mini ice age. That will destroy crops. We will have a hard time. But it hasn't happened, but it could. So being aware of your geographical area, where you live, that means a lot. That's one of the ways that you can prepare. You don't have to change your life. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't stop living your life, man. If anything, live it to the fullest. Don't waste a day. Don't waste a day. And ladies and gentlemen, listening to Dr. Elbers and I and joining in with us, it's not a waste of your time. It is part of your free will. And God gave man free will. He also gave it to women too.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, they want to take these freedoms away. Your God-given freedoms. Each and every one of you living in different countries, you know exactly what I mean. We don't have to go any further than that. We know what's out there. I'm not sure how much further in our knowledge and our research that we can go. We'll try. We'll push the envelope. But ladies and gentlemen, we already have the evidence. There's tons of it. Undisputable. Other than, you know, troll babies. They want to dispute it, you know. But they don't, you know, they don't really matter. They're the very evil opposition. But anyways, Dr. Elbers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, once again, I salute you for everything that you've done.
Thank
you. Your academics is beyond respectable.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for all of the knowledge that you've brought to me. And we're going to continue. We are going to continue moving forward for us and all of you. Dr. Elbers, any last words?
Well, as usual, I'd like to say, you know, we're living in difficult times, and these things are here. They're not going to go away. And things are, I think, getting worse and will be getting worse. Oh, well, they've been getting worse for a very long time, but we're getting to the point where we're having almost continuous storms, and they're likely to increase, and earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, they're all on the increase, even though the news channels try to hide that fact from us. if you look carefully at the news, you should see that everything is really on the increase. And so I think the best thing that we can do is be like little children and run to our Father and hide in His arms, our Creator, because that's the best place to be. It's a wonderful place to be.
Once again, very well said, Dr. Elbers. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't stop living your life. You know, we don't actually know what is in store for us. You know, we can debate this every minute of every day. We don't have that crystal ball. But we do try very hard to prove what is out there and what is happening. And it's pretty cut and dry now. You know, over the course of the last 2 years, everything's pretty much panned out as far as, you know, what's happening, what's going to happen, what's already happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, it's just a matter of sticking together, continuing the flow of information, and sharing it with each other. That's the best advice I could give you. Live your life. La vida loca.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you very much. Share our videos, share this live stream, let other people enjoy it, let other people come on board and see what's happening. They deserve that right. This is Scott from Planet X News and our Planet X physicist, renowned Dr. Claudia Elbers. Thank you, folks. Take care. Be safe.